Most people do not stay broke because they lack talent. They stay broke because they keep making a few quiet money mistakes that feel normal at the time, and Jim Rohn warned about all of them. I am Walt, and if you stay with me for the next few minutes, you may spot one of these mistakes in your own life, and once you see it clearly, it becomes very hard to ignore. Jim Rohn had a gift for making simple truths hit hard. He did not speak like a man trying to impress a room. He spoke like someone trying to save people from wasting 10 more years. And when he talked about money, he rarely made it sound mysterious. He made it sound personal. Money was not only about numbers, it was about habits, standards, patience, and the kind of choices people make when no one is watching. That matters because most money problems do not begin with a market crash or a bad boss. They begin on an ordinary Tuesday. A person avoids learning a skill. They buy something to feel better. They stay in a role that no longer grows them. They say yes to being underpaid because they do not want discomfort. Then 5 years pass and they call it bad luck. Jim Rohn would say, no, that is not bad luck. That is drift, and drift leads to the first money mistake that keeps most people poor, living by default instead of by design. A lot of people never make a clear money plan. They wake up, work, pay bills, react, repeat. Their income may rise a little, but their thinking stays the same. They do not decide what kind of life they want, what level of income they need, what skills they must build, or what they are no longer willing to tolerate. So life makes those choices for them. This is more common than people admit. Someone gets a decent job, then settles into survival mode. Their pay arrives, and it is already spent in their mind. Rent, food, a few treats, maybe a holiday they cannot really afford, then back to zero. They are active all week, yet passive about the direction of their life. Jim Rohn taught that you cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. That line matters because poor money decisions often come from unclear direction, not low effort. When you have no target, almost any expense feels fine, almost any delay feels harmless, and almost any salary seems acceptable. Think about a simple career moment. Your manager hints that a new role may open soon. One person goes home and hopes to be noticed. Another person spends 3 months building the exact skills that role needs, asks better questions, sharpens how they speak, and becomes hard to overlook. Same office, same economy, very different design. The fix is not complicated, but it does require honesty. Decide your number, decide your next move, decide the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Vague people stay stuck because vague goals create vague action. A clear financial target changes how you use an evening, how you use a weekend, even how you walk into a meeting. Now here comes the second mistake, and this one hides behind comfort. Spending to look successful instead of becoming valuable. Jim Rohn said that we must all suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Many people choose regret in small daily doses. They chase the appearance of progress instead of real progress. Nice car on finance, expensive dinners to keep an image, designer signals before real stability. It looks polished from the outside, but it is built on pressure. The trap is not only big spending, it is emotional spending. A hard day turns into a reward purchase. A boring week becomes a reason to upgrade something. A little envy becomes a shopping trip. People tell themselves they deserve it, while quietly borrowing from the future version of themselves who was supposed to get ahead. Jim Rohn believed income rarely exceeds personal development for long. That is a brutal but useful idea. If you want more money that lasts, become more useful. Build skills, improve judgment, learn to solve better problems, learn to lead, learn to sell, learn to negotiate, learn to stay calm when others get sloppy. Those things may not look glamorous this week, but they pay far better than image ever will. I once knew a man who always looked rich from a distance. Sharp watch, sharp clothes, always in the best places. But every month he was tense. Every bill felt like a threat. Then there was another man, quieter, less flashy, always learning, always asking smart questions, always putting money into his tools, his health, and his network. Guess which one grew stronger year after year? Real wealth often looks boring before it looks impressive. That leads to the third money mistake, refusing to invest in your own growth because the cost feels painful now. This is where many people lose years. They will spend freely on convenience, but hesitate when it comes to books, courses, coaching, better equipment, or the time needed to practice a valuable skill. They say it is too expensive, when the real cost is staying the same. Jim Rohn was relentless on this point. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. That does not mean ignore your job. It means your job pays you for what you are today, while self-development pays you for what you can become next. Imagine two people finishing work at 6. One scrolls, snacks, and numbs out every night because they are tired. Fair enough, life is tiring. But the second person protects even 40 focused minutes a day. They study communication. They improve their writing. They learn how money works. They practice speaking with more confidence. After a year, those 40 minutes do not look small anymore. They look like a new identity. And this is where people get confused. They think growth must be dramatic. Jim Rohn did not teach drama. He taught accumulation. Small disciplines, repeated well, done long enough to become a different life. The same applies to money. A person who understands delayed gratification makes calmer choices. They do not need every reward now. They can pass on short-term pleasure to create long-term ease. That one trait alone can separate a stable future from a stressful one. Still, there is one more mistake, and it may be the most dangerous because people defend it so fiercely. Keeping the wrong people, the wrong standards, and the wrong voices around you. Jim Rohn said you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Some people hear that and think it is only about friendship. It is bigger than that. It is about what your environment normalizes. Does your circle mock ambition? Do they laugh at saving? Do they spend first and panic later? Do they treat learning as boring and discipline as extreme? If so, you will start lowering your standards without even noticing. I am Walt, and I think this is where many good people lose momentum. Not because they are weak, but because normal is powerful. If everyone around you treats financial chaos like an ordinary part of adult life, then calm, wise money behavior starts to feel unusual. But unusual is often exactly what growth requires. This shows up in subtle ways. You ask for less than you are worth. You stay quiet in rooms where you should speak. You avoid networking because it feels awkward. You delay a business idea because no one close to you understands it. You keep old habits to avoid making others uncomfortable. Meanwhile, your future keeps sending signals, and you keep muting them. So what is the answer to these 4 mistakes? Design your life instead of drifting through it. Build value instead of buying appearances. Invest in your growth even when it is inconvenient. Protect your standards like they are part of your income, because they are. Jim Rohn did not promise magic. He offered something better: cause and effect. Better thinking creates better choices. Better choices create better habits. Better habits create a stronger financial life. Not in one dramatic leap, but in a way that lasts. If one of these mistakes hit a nerve today, good. That means this was not just another video to play in the background. It means something in you knows it is time to tighten the standard. Thank you for watching. If this gave you something useful, like the video and subscribe to InkedGold for more timeless lessons on wealth, discipline, and success. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next video. Before you go, which of these 4 money mistakes do you think traps most people for the longest?